What is up, guys? Welcome to UFC Zilla, and on today's episode we'll be covering the matchup between Korean Zombie and Brian Ortega. But before I do that, please hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you can get a notification every time I make a UFC prediction video. And guys, let's get into it because Korean Zombie is trying to fight for the title shot, and Brian Ortega is coming off a long-standing injury that happened in the, I think, Max Holloway fight. So now these two are trying to match up, try to get themselves to the top of the featherweight division so they can fight the new champion Alexander Volkanovski, who has now beaten Max Holloway twice, is now probably looking for new contenders to fight against. So Brian Ortega and Korean Zombie are on that level to try and make that jump towards him and be his next contenders. But first, they're going to have to fight each other, which leads me to the fire goals. What do these two need to do to win this fight and advance up the rankings? And first, let's start off with the person that's been off with injury for a while. Let's start off with Brian Ortega. What does he need to do to win this fight and potentially be in this position to get another title shot? And I think in this fight, he has to use his length, leg kicks, or either he needs to have Korean Zombie clinched up. Because what Korean Zombie is going to want to do, he's going to want to stay in that middle range and use his speed and punch accuracy to hurt Brian Ortega. So Ortega's going to have to stay on his outside, maybe hit him with a couple of leg kicks if he tries to get too advanced with his movement, and keep him at a distance or either be so close to him that he will not have an effect on him as far as using his combinations where it is concerned. Maybe take him down if the opportunity presents itself, but staying on the outside will be the key to Brian Ortega in this fight. Then on the other side, what Korean Zombie needs to do? He needs to do the opposite. He needs to stay in the middle, get near him to the point where he can use his speed and combinations against Brian Ortega and hurt him as much as possible. He needs to be very active, presenting leg kicks to try and stop his movement, keep him still, and have him start eating multiple shots so he can soften them up for a knockout later and have a very decisive victory going up the middleweight rankings. So now that we have the fire goals out the way, what do I think is going to happen in this fight? I think in the first round, they're going to both come out trying to feel each other. Brian Ortega is going to kind of use his length. Korean Zombie is going to try and stay busy early. He's going to want to start getting up and start winning rounds over Brian Ortega, trying to force his hand. I think by the time the second round comes around, I think Brian Ortega is going to be a little bit settled in there and be able to control the pace a little bit better. And by that time, I think Korean Zombie will have a round or two in on him. And that's where the fight gets interesting, because that's where I think Brian Ortega is going to start mixing it up, not just with his punches, but with his jiu-jitsu style. Start grabbing, Korean Zombie, take him to the ground, using his better frame and size to get him, start rolling him around. And who knows what's going to happen in that. But if I had to make a prediction about it, I think that Korean Zombie is going to win. He's going to be able to protect himself from the advanced jiu-jitsu game of Brian Ortega, but also, he's going to be able to output so many punches that if he doesn't knock out Brian Ortega, he's definitely going to have him hurt. And he is a very great boxing type fighter. It's improved in the number of fights that he's had, and I think experience and consistency will win the day over a great one type jiu-jitsu fighter. So I give the victory to Korean Zombie. But guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Who you think is going to win this fight, and by way of knockout, decision, or some other method, maybe like submission. Put that in the comment section below. This has been the best Gojira in UFC news. Please hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, and I will see you guys next time.